Heading into the fifth week, I want to take a few minutes and reflect back on our journey so far. First, stop the video for 1 minute and reflect back on as well. Okay, great. Let's get started. Week 1 involved examining what blended teaching was. I had you research some articles and interview instructors who were already teaching a blended class. What did we learn? Jones' research confirmed that as a college we are on the right track to offer more courses in the blended format. I agree. I think the blended course is the best of both worlds, online and face-to-face. Mike Ladach's research uncovered information about the success in blended courses being higher for students. While I agree with this, I also think we need to make sure we are doing it right, thus this class. Mike Earle's research uncovered the key flaw of blended courses, that is, the course and a half syndrome, where faculty have a tendency to have the students do more work in a blended class than they do in any other. That is another reason why I developed this class, to help avoid that. I highly recommend going back and rereading the posts if you have a chance, since I think much of this information will make much more sense to you now. Reflection and review throughout a course is an important part of learning and ensuring the students actually retain what they have learned. So a general definition of what blended learning is it is a combination of multiple instructional strategies that combine face-to-face instruction with a mix of online, real-world, and explorative learning opportunities. Think about what you've experienced in this class so far. Even though we do not meet face-to-face, you have done research, you've interviewed other instructors, you've listened and watched videos on different topics, participated in a synchronous web conference with Blackboard Collaborate, and used a wiki, blog, and discussion board. This week you will be working in groups via Blackboard Collaborate. The takeaway, it is not one technique, but many that help students interact multiple ways with the material, but in a way that we leverage Bloom's taxonomy. The second week, you reviewed the components necessary in a blended course. The key takeaways are: there must be interaction, and these interactions need to be designed into the course itself. One must be aware of Bloom's and why it is so important to scaffold our teaching, starting at the bottom and working our way up to the final level of creating. If we do not take the proper steps, we will fail, and so will our students. The great thing about the blended classes is that you have the perfect opportunity to scaffold before, during, and after class, and to make the learner take responsibility for their learning. We also must be aware to include UDL, Universal Design for Learning, as we redesign our courses, since we have such a diverse population of students. Be aware of these components and thinking of ways to incorporate them into your courses is a big step in the right direction. This week I'm asking you to submit a list of these components so I can check and see everyone is on the right track as they begin to prepare a lesson plan for one competency. The third week we looked at assessments, both formative and summative. Why? This is how we know whether a student has mastered the competencies they are working on. You shared some really good assessments that you are doing in your classrooms on the wiki. Please feel free to use any of these in your class. Remember, the formative assessments allow your students to practice, and then you provide feedback, so when it comes time for the summative assessment, when you actually measure and evaluate them, they will be able to easily do this. In this course, have you noticed I'm doing mostly formative types of assessments so that when it comes time for you to put together your final performance assessment task of a blended lesson plan, you will have had many opportunities to practice. Remember, one never wants to overassess, meaning if you're struggling with grading, the students are probably struggling with getting everything done. So go back to the wiki and check out what your classmates have said. Last week you looked at technology. The different technology posted on our blog was amazing. If you didn't have a chance, please look at what everyone has posted. Remember, technology can be overwhelming, but also think of how liberating it is to be able to do so many interactive activities with your students. You have seen the videos I've created, the exit tickets, the use of Padlet for the first 5. There are simulations, polling tools, ways for students to work together synchronously with Blackboard Collaborate. One word of caution, always remember the KISS principle. Keep it simple to start, and integrate only one new piece of technology per term unless you're feeling really adventurous. So this week you will start using all of this information you've been introduced to. To do this successfully, you must think through and prepare a lesson plan, like a roadmap in one sense, to ensure you are taking your students along a well-planned route. Included in your reading is information about a concept called backward design. Basically, begin with the end in mind. I'm asking you to pick one competency and start working on your plan. This will again be a process where you get to practice and get feedback from both myself and your peers. I'm asking you to submit a rough draft after working with your group as part of the assessment. So I am assessing, however, also allowing you an opportunity to incorporate my feedback as well as that from your peers into your final submission. Later this week I will be opening up weeks 6 and 7 folders so you can get a feel for where we are going. As always, have a great week and happy learning.